This is a Lightroom tutorial showing a certain way of using the auto mask mode. Now I'm going to select my image from the library and open it up in the develop mode. And the first thing I need to do is make my image smaller on the viewing area. So I'm just going to click on here and go 1 to 8, which shrinks it down. And in that way I can use my adjustment brush and select a large size of adjustment brush, and the brush will cover the whole image, so I can make selections on the whole image at once. And that means you don't have to paint your selection on small pieces of the picture in local adjustments. I can do kind of a global selective adjustment using this large brush on a small image. The other thing I need to do is click the Auto Mask selector. Now, if I click on the background, for instance, I can select an area of the background, and if I press the O button on my keyboard, it means I can see the area that's been selected. Now, there's quite a lot here that's been selected, including some little areas that I'm not sure about. You can move your selected area around and it will show you where it's been selected. So I could move it down here onto the shirt. Just remove that previous one from a different edit. And so you can see as I move the button around, or the selected point around, it chooses different parts of the image which you can see are being selected because of the red mask in this view. So if I choose the shirt, I can then click O on the keyboard to go back into normal mode and start making some adjustments. So if I turn the exposure down, you can see it's affecting all the darker areas of the image. And it's bringing down all the dark tones, so it has the effect of making the skin tones stand out against the darker background. So if I choose quite a dark background like that, I think the problem I have here slightly is that the mask is affecting the eyes as well. So if I go to the erase function on the adjustment brush and use a small brush, I can erase the action of the mask just on the eyes, make sure there's none on the face. By doing that, I have created a much darker surrounding which highlights the skin tones and makes the sort of person stand out against the background. I'm just going to undo that one. I'm not sure if I quite like the way it affects the shirt as well, so I'm going to get rid of that one and try the selection on the background. So if I click on the background, press my O button, and just move that around until I get something that I'm reasonably comfortable with. You can see it's affecting the shirt a bit too, but maybe less so here. So I'm going to try making adjustments again. Press the O button to go back into normal mode and play with the exposure again. It's having less effect on the shirt this time, which I think is probably better. It's still having a little effect on the eyes. So again, I'm going to go back to the erase button, small brush. I'm just going to erase the effect that that's having on the eyes, which brightens them up again. I think that's a slightly nicer effect. You can do it the other way around, obviously. So if I erase that effect, and if I just go back to the non-brush mode, to just the regular adjustments, I can perhaps adjust the picture and make it darker overall to start with by using global adjustments, and then I can go back into my adjustment brush and I can select the skin tones, and by doing it kind of the opposite way around. Press O again on the keyboard, and I can see what areas I'm affecting. And then I can go back to my exposure slider and raise the tones of the skin. Yeah, that's not quite so effective because it's leaving parts of the face out and making her look really strange. So I think the first effect was probably the first way of doing it was probably the best. If I selected a different area, perhaps that would work better. Just erase that one and go back onto the face and select. Let's try that. That's probably a bit more holistic, I think. So that's what I'm selecting. Then go away from that again, back into my adjustment mode. Yeah, that's better. So it's selecting the whole area, although it is leaving the eyes out, which is making it look a little bit alien again. So I think probably the first way of doing it was the best. So again, erase that effect. Go back to the global adjustments, put the exposure back to normal, back to 0. Go back to my adjustment brush and choose an area of the background I think that's going to press the O key on the keyboard and just keep moving that around until you select the area that's going to have the best overall effect. So I'm going to go there, and then I'm going to alter the brightness. Yeah, and I think that works quite well. So it's really highlighting the girl in the picture and making the background fade away into a darker effect. And then just go back to your erase brush and clean up the areas that have overlapped a little bit. So as you can see, that's a really sort of quick way of making selections of the whole image just by using a very large brush and using the picture smaller on the screen. The O key on your keyboard toggles between showing you the area that you've chosen in a red mask and going back to the normal view mode so you can make adjustments.